Okay, let's see. Are we getting through? Are we getting through? Sound check. Sound check. Can't do anything about that hum. Sound check. Sound check. 1 2 1 2. I think we're live. 5 by 5. Okay. And we're up close and personal. Let's see if that's coming through. By the way, in case you're wondering, I'm still trying to work out how this works. Trying a new microphone again. We're going to see how this one sounds as compared to last week. Alrighty. Greetings and salivations. I am Unfoth Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you are once again listening to the Eldritch God. I have not slept in 31 hours. Should be fun. Got stuck on an overnight last night, then had to get my car fixed, and yeah, haven't slept, so I'm going to be up until 8 a.m. It's 11:09, so gonna be fun. What to talk about? Well, if anybody wants to bring anything up, I'm keeping an eye on the live chat here. If you think there's a problem with the audio, let me know, because it's a new mic again. We're going to see how this one works. If in comparison to last week, this one is better. I'm picking up some sort of weird low hum on it, though. It's bothering me. So, we'll take it from there. Okay, what to talk about? Well, let's see. There's the obvious. In fact, I already worked out a video on it. Dear white people. In specific, Matt. Monday Matt. I don't know if any of you have caught his video review of the whole sucker. I'm beginning to wonder if the guy is being paid under the table by Netflix. Seriously. It's just incredibly bizarre how he keeps going, form your own opinions. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. Don't let me tell you what to do. But what I want you to do is to go watch the first episode. Excuse me? What? Huh? I thought you just said make my own opinion here. He's got this great argument where he goes, unsubscribing from Netflix isn't going to hurt them. I'm sorry, I was under the impression I'd cost them $12 a month. See, I can stop paying the money and get everything Netflix has for free from Russia because Russia has no copyright laws. Little known fact there, it is so expensive to buy floppy disks, CDs, hard drives in Russia. And the reason is because they assume you're going to pirate. So they put a tax on all the media that you use to store information, and then they give a cut to all registered, artists. So, I mean, the system works over there for them, and in exchange, websites over there get to pretty much stream everything we've got here in the Western world. And, if you can find a link and it's stable, you can get whatever you want. I personally stuck with Netflix because I kind of felt, it was the honest thing to do. But after watching Dear White People, I mean, the movie was bad enough. The movie was horrible. But this TV series, it's just, I don't know if anybody who's listening to this has ever seen, what do they call it? Animal House. I forget the name of the fraternity, but basically there's this fraternity that's everything you hate about a fraternity. Rich, snotty, arrogant, borderline Aryan, probably morally corrupt, and probably lack any sort of actual bravery. All bluff, no 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 actual punch to them. And when I was watching that 30-second clip, and I know it was only a 30-second clip, but frankly, it looked like they had just photocopied Animal House, the villains, and then just said all white people will be like this. I mean, if there was any more stereotypes. But the real problem I have is that, like, people like Monday Man are going, oh, you're judging the show too early, you're judging it too early, you're judging it too early. Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. Let's say you walk into a supermarket, and the supermarket has a girl up front, and she's sitting behind a little counter, and she's got a little table here, and she's got all these free samples of food, and there's a big sign that says free samples, and says, so you go, okay, I'm going to come up, I'm going to have a free sample. And she says, close your eyes, I've got a surprise for you, it's a new product. You open your mouth, and she stuffs something in, and you bite down, and it's an actual lump of shit. Maybe it's got, some pink, sparkly spray paint on it, but it's a lump of shit. And you bite into it, you go, oh dear God, this tastes like shit. And then you spit it out, and you go, my God, it actually is human excrement. Well, what would you do if a supermarket was actually feeding you little tiny samples of shit? You'd probably spit out the shit, say, my God, that's shit. You'd walk out the front door. Now, in Monday Matt's case, he would then step in front of you and say, no, 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 you are judging the food without even trying it. Well, see, here's the thing. That 30-second trailer is trying, dear white people. You are trying, dear white people. If you're trying to sell your TV show, you're trying to sell your movie, trying to sell your concept, it is important. You can't hear me? There, I've tried kicking up the gain on the inside. It may result in some background hum. Okay, how's this? Have I just been talking to myself for 5 minutes here without anybody hearing me? Okay, I'm not liking the new microphone. I'm not liking it at all. Um, well, you guys didn't miss much. I've been actually just kind of fumbling trying to figure out a topic. I should edit these down and get rid of the first chunk 5 minutes. As I've written in the comments, I pretty much haven't slept in 31 hours. So I'm pretty much just rambling because I haven't slept. And with my job, I've got to stay awake until 8 a.m., so that's another 9 hours for me. Gonna be good times, good times. Let's see. If anybody's got a topic, feel free to chat about it. I was going to go with the obvious one to start, which is dear white people. I'll start over at the beginning here. I don't know. The actual clip itself is everybody's tackled it. There's nothing to talk about. It's a steaming pile of social justice. Okay, pretty much it. However, I don't know if you guys know Monday Matt. He's a diehard liberal, but he seems pretty reasonable. And then every once in a while, he goes off the reservation. And when he reviewed Dear White People, I, screen punchingly bad. I'll go through a couple of his arguments here, but basically, he started making me wonder if he's actually getting paid by Netflix. Because he'd come out and he'd go, yeah, I understand it was bad. Yeah, I understand this. And form your own opinion. Form your own opinion. But you should go see it anyways. At least see the first episode and then make your decision. I'm sorry, I thought you just said I can form my own opinion. Then goes around and tells everybody, basically, and flat out, and in my opinion, I always say this. If you use the word but, don't. Because there's no point to the word but. If you say the word but, everything before it is negated. If you say, wow, you're a really great person, but you disgust me and you're vile and you should be shot. What am I saying? I'm saying you're disgusting and you're vile and you need to be shot. All that nice stuff I said before, but completely pointless. And Monday Matt will come along and he'd go, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm not trying to judge anybody. But, and he did that like at least twice. But he seems obsessed with the fact that he thinks everybody is judging the TV show. And the fact of the matter is nobody's judging the TV show. Or maybe some people are. But most people aren't. They're judging the trailer. Okay? When you make a trailer, your goal is to take the very best and present it out there in hopes of teasing people in. I've gone to shows based entirely on the trailer only to realize that the best 90 seconds of the movie was in the trailer and the rest of the movie sucked. It happens. It happens. But here's the thing. He seems to think everybody's making judgments on the show. Okay, well, my judgment is that I'm not going to see it. And he goes, how can you do that without knowing what it is? And then he proceeds to tell us what the show's about. Well, it's going to be humor, self-deprecating, and all this. Really? You saw the show? You saw the first episode already? Oh, no? Okay, then you're just making up shit, too. But in my opinion, the whole event, I'm going to summarize what he talks about. Imagine you went to a supermarket. You went to a Whole Foods, and there's this girl out front. She's got this little table there, blah, blah, blah. And she's setting up her little samples. And she says, come over here, have a sample. And she holds up a little thing, and it's got little sprinkles on it. It's a little glittery, and it's kind of pink. And you're going, oh, wow, this looks cool. And you pop it in your mouth, take a couple bites. You realize it is spray-painted piece of shit. It is an actual, literal turd. Spray-painted with a little glitter on top. And, of course, if you just chomp down on a piece of turd, you'd spit it out. And then you'd look at the person behind there and see, yes, indeed, she was an employee of the company, and she is the sample girl, and they are actually trying to sell a product that is based on this. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't some sort of practical joke crap. This is literally what they're trying to get you to buy. Well, you'd spit it out. You curse at them. You might even say, in a lot of people's cases, I'm never shopping here again. And then you'd walk out. However, if Monday Matt was in the area, he would then intercept you as soon as you stepped out of the store and say, no, wait. You're judging the rest of that food harshly, and you don't really know what the rest of it tastes like. You have no idea what the rest of it tastes like. And I'm going, but that sample lady just gave me the very best that food had to offer. This was the best sample they had to offer. I'm not thinking they gave me their worst sample. I'm not thinking they were trying to piss me off. They were trying to put their best foot forward, and their best foot forward is a literal turd that I bit down on and I'm now going to the hospital for. He wants you to go and see the first episode. He wants you to finish eating that turd. There's a big loaf sitting there on the counter. He wants you to go and take a sample. I don't know why. He seems really pissed off that people are pissed off. Oh, we're all perpetually triggered. It's like, no, I'm not. No, in fact, I'm more triggered about you, Monday Matt, than I am about the video. Checking up on the comments here. Hold on a sec here. Were you talking to me or you were talking to Belgian Dan? Oh, that's right. Whitey boy, you're having problems getting your computer going. At any rate, my whole point is about Dear White People is I actually, from what I've read, I really didn't want to research it, but Monday Matt made such a big stink about it, I actually looked into it a bit. I think, honestly, the creator believes sincerely what he's saying. And he says, oh, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not trying to do anything. I think he honestly believes what he's saying. The problem is that you then went and made the best possible 30-second sample you could, and that 30-second sample is incredibly offensive. I'm judging your trailer. Your trailer is awful. And from everything that I have seen about what I could tolerate with the movie that this is based on, and I couldn't finish it, honestly. I could not finish it. I was cringing too much, and I don't like cringe. It's fun a couple of times, but it's fun in 10-second clips. I don't want to sit down through, I think it was 93 minutes of being told, you're an asshole. And it's all based on a fictional college. If you actually go and look up the college it's supposedly based on, yeah, the percentage of blacks is only 2%, but the percentage of white is only 60. The place opened the very same hour that, who was it? Abe Lincoln gave his speech at the Gettysburg Address. I think it was on the anniversary. They've always accepted minorities. They've always been excessively tolerant. And this 30-second clip made it look like it is the school of Nazis. And the real world example it's based on couldn't be further from the truth. And then I didn't even know about this until Monday. Matt said, this is what everybody's angry about. Apparently the guy who created the series, when Trump got elected, put out a series of white people suck tweets or something. That's irrelevant. I don't judge a show on the creator. That the show stands on its own. The creator could be completely insane, be a one-armed baboon who masturbates constantly. I wouldn't care as long as the show is good. Belgian Dan, don't watch the trailer. It's not pretty. It's awful. And I got a feeling that it's going to be kind of like the Ghostbusters trailer. But, where the Ghostbusters first trailer was horrific. And the second one, actually, they wised up and they edited it. And it wasn't anything that actually made me want to see the movie, but the second trailer was nowhere near as offensive. So I have a feeling that what's going to happen is the people, Netflix is just going to hunker down. They're going to keep their mouths shut. They're going to wait a week or two. Then they're going to put out a different trailer that's done differently to make it seem more lighthearted and comedy, and hope everybody just forgets about this thing. And to be honest, I don't care. I wouldn't have watched it even if it was the best trailer in the world. And it's not because it's dear white people. It's because it's gotten to the point I just hate TV. I can't, for me, canceling the Netflix isn't a point. It was guilt money as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Well, actually, that does bring up a point, my boy, that I wanted to discuss. That would have been my second topic of the evening. I used to do mortgages. I have a lot of experience with just about every form of debt imagined. And when 2008 was coming around, the big collapse was winding up, I had this feeling. And I started to pull out. I started to get out of the market, and I just didn't do it fast enough. So I lost a lot of money. But I was making a lot of money on mortgages at that point. And I remember the feeling. I remember the atmosphere, the way that we just kept doubling down on everything, where we got all these credit agencies to come out and go, these mortgage combinations are amazing. Bucket mortgages are awesome. They can't go wrong. AAA credit rating all the way. You're just mitigating risk. It's amazing. Yeah. Imagine, if you will, that you have a box of oily rags, and I'm going to give it to you with a small time bomb. Now, that time bomb will go off in 2 years. In 2 years, you need to sell that box of oily rags to somebody else. By the way, I need you to keep it in your basement next to your furnace, and in between it and the hot water heater. That was what our mortgages were. They were 2-year-long time bombs. Every single, adjustable rate mortgage, all the 228 arms were just boxes of oily rags with a small bomb in it that you kept in your basement, and it burned down your house. But there was a feeling about it. There was a certain attitude. It was, everybody just got this kind of wild eye as everything was starting to come to a head there. People were getting, oh no, it's great, this is going to last forever, this is going to last forever. Everything's going to be awful, everything's fine. And now I look at the media. I look at mainstream media, I look at CNN, MSNBC, newspapers that used to be legitimate and now read more like tabloids. In fact, I just noticed that when I went grocery shopping for some food, that the National Enquirer seems to be more honest and direct and truthful than the local newspaper here. It's insane. It's like bizarro world. And that got me thinking about 2008. And I think what we are approaching, this is my prediction. Okay, so I'm going to put it here on the video so that later I can come back and say, I was right. My prediction is quite simple. You're looking at the great media crash of 2017. If you have money in media stocks, anything mainstream, get it out now. Okay, because it's the exact same setup. These people trotting out experts, saying everything's fine, that quiet desperation, that craziness. Every reporter's nuts. And they all know the party's coming to an end, but they can't admit it. Yeah, I mean, the Ghostbusters thing, just to jump back to the old topic, since I'm better than you always brought it up. I mean, if it probably wouldn't have had half as much of the problems as it did if they didn't defend it so crazily. But since we brought it back up here, that was one point that Matt said, with everybody overreacting to the video so bad, you're just increasing the hype for people to see it. Normal people are going to go want to see it because of you guys. No, it doesn't work that way. Because Monday Matt, we're the normal people. People who are listening to me right now, we're the normal people. Yeah, we like to think we're weird. Yeah, I'm the Eldritch God, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we play weird. No, I'm sorry. We're mainstream. We're the normal people. We're the ones who go, let's get up. Let's go to work. Let's pay our bills. Let's pay our taxes. Let's go home. We're going to have a drink. And every once in a while, if we're lucky, we're going to get laid. And then we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're going to do it all over again. And if our life doesn't suck too much, hopefully we have the weekends off. That we're the normal people do that. They get up, they go to work, they do their job, they go home, they try to spend some time with their family, they fret about their bills, they worry about all this bullshit, and then they go to sleep. They don't have time to be lectured about something that happened in a fictional college that was completely out of whack. That college is not 2% black, 98% white. It's 2% black, 60% white. Where is all the other minorities? And hell, that college is 60% female and only 40% men. They got way too many men in that college. It's a delusional world created for some sort of revenge fantasy for black people. All right? If it was honest, if it was true, if it was an actual reflection of the current college, or even a reflection of the college as it was set up, say 30 years ago, based on true, real events as close as possible, then they wouldn't be getting any of these complaints because, that happened. There's an actual documented case of this black person having his hair fondled. Okay, I got it. But you know what? I've never heard of that happening. And if it happened to you, I don't think they were just doing it because they were curious. They were probably hitting on you. That's how it works. That's how it works. This is wish fulfillment, and that's what most media is. And if it's entertainment and it pleases people, great. But this isn't my entertainment. This is not geared for me. No, I just put a turd in my mouth, bit down on it, spit it out, and I'm not shopping here again. I'm sorry, I don't know what possessed you to try to give me a piece of shit. And I'm not going to assume that, oh wow, this was just the bad sample. This was your best foot forward. You only get one chance to make a first impression. You fail. Okay? Now, maybe this will appeal to some other people, but the fact of the matter is social justice warriors all live in people's basements. They're all poor. They don't have jobs. That's why they have so much time to go be social justice warriors. This is appealing to people who don't have money. That's why the movie will fail. That's why the TV show will fail, is because the people who are actually spending the money are the parents. And the parents are going, why am I paying $12 a month for something that's going to insult me and put shit in my mouth? It doesn't matter. Okay, you insulted people with the trailer, and after I've been insulted, I'm not going to go watch your show because you obviously didn't want me to see it. Oh, you should give it a chance. Matt says, give it a chance. No, sorry. And I'm not telling anybody else don't do it. It might be your cup of tea. You might be the type of person. You might be Steve Shives. Steve Shives is going to freaking masturbate to this TV show. He's going to. He's going to be just sitting there. I don't even imagine the look on his face. He's going to go, oh. He's going to take off his hat. And then he'll ask his wife, may I come? Something like that. It's going to be just like that. But it's very rare. You're going to have anybody with any purchasing power watching your show. If you appeal to people who've got no money and you wonder why your show doesn't make any money, but duh. But I don't get it. I don't understand why. And Monday Matt actually sometimes seems pretty reasonable. And then every once in a while he does this where he shows his liberal stripes, where he has this blind spot, where he just doesn't realize, Matt, you're not special. You're not better than us. You're not above us. You're one of us. You're a working schmo, just like the rest of us. And working schmoes are the normal schmoes. We might not want to be normal. We might want to be weird or special or some other thing, but you know what? I don't know. In today's world, being normal is pretty cool. Being a guy who goes to work and gets the job done and comes home and takes care of his family and doesn't get divorced and raises children, my God, you're a freaking god under today's society. And you have all these parents who are they're too tired, they can't spend the time, they've bought into the whole narrative that if you have two people working, you make more money, except you got to spend more money on daycare. And then the math is in. If you have a husband who works his ass off, and you have a spouse that supports them, they make more money than both people trying to work. If you add up how much they save by dividing the labor like that. And it's crazy. But so many people bought into it, so many have been told it, this is the way it's supposed to be. But I'm starting to see here and there the other side starting to get some smarts. Like Delilah tonight. I was expecting her to do some sort of social justice warrior rant when, person sent in a letter saying, my sister's cheating on my husband. What should I do to help her? The answer was, don't. She's making some stupid decisions. Let her make her own mistakes and ruin her own life. Worry about your own problems. Mind your own business. I'm like, wow, that's a rarity. But I think that's starting to filter down. It's starting to click with people that, I'm an atheist, but, the other day I had 2 Jehovah's Witnesses show up at my door trying to convert me, and I said, I don't believe in God. However, do want to say, I love Western civilization. Thank you very much. I gave him a thumbs up and says, please keep up the good work. I like living in this civilization. And the guy laughed and he looked at me and I just said, no, totally serious. Have a nice day, and closed the door. Because it's true. Whether you like it or not, you believe in God or not, civilization was built by Christians, and it's a great civilization. I love this place. Nobody's trying to kill me. Nobody's trying to kill me because of what I believe. Let me assure you, if I'm in the Middle East, I'm a dead man. I'm going to then go, oh, I've seen a lot. I praise Allah. I'm gonna pray 5 times a day. Is you got an app for that? I'm sure they do. The praying app. Well, I understand fine with weird. Weird isn't, the problem is, though, we've assumed what weird is today means what it used to 20 years ago. It doesn't. Weird today is only like one standard deviation. Everybody's weird. But pretty much the normal people aren't too weird. Crack some weird jokes, wear some silly clothes. But when it comes down to it, they get up, they respect the social construct, They obey the law, they drive to work, they do their job, maybe they go to their second job, they go home, and they do the things you're supposed to do in a family. And while some people might go, oh, my life is over, that's only because you're watching the media. To be honest, a humble life is a nice life. I used to want to be all this other crap, and when I stopped worrying about all that other crap and just said, you know what, I'm just going to be happy with what I got, I'm a much happier man. It's just as soon as I stopped trying to chase after some theoretical ideal that I could never reach. I'm weird in that I'm, somewhat off-center. I've got all these little things that make me an individual, but overall, compare me to most Americans, I'm well within the one statistical deviation. I'm pretty much near the center of the bell curve. I'm smarter than most and more foolish than most. It's just the way it is. Yes. Yes, Steve likes chicks with dicks. We know who wears the pants in his family. But the thing is though, we've gotten to a point in our society where weird isn't important. We don't really judge people anymore, which I think has been a somewhat good development. Problem is, there's some things that do need to be judged. If you're, a drug user, you should be judged and say, hey, you've got 2 kids at home that are starving to death. Maybe you should stop shooting up heroin. That sort of thing. That's a good judgment. But we've gotten to the point where shame is a shame in and of itself. So you can't yell at your kids, and you can't direct them. They have to find their own way. And you know what? That's not how it works. Okay? Organizing children's lives make for stable children, because life isn't fair. Eventually, at some point, they're going to get screwed. That's how it works. Good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people. You need to prepare people for that. And if you don't, it just is cruel. But that's what we do these days. But people don't care about a lot of stuff. You can come in with weird hair, it could be purple, red, and green. People don't care. They don't. They don't care if you're gay. People don't care if you're black. People don't care if you're white. People don't care about the identity politics. And that's why the Democrats are losing. Well, all social justice warriors. It's because people just are apathetic. And apathy is great. I love apathy. I would love for people to not care about me. Because if you care, you're going to interfere in my life. Leave me alone. I can figure it out. I'll take care of myself. You take care of yourself. Because I have a dream. I have a dream that one day there'll be no more fucks to give. And we will all come together. And on that day I will climb a mountain. And I will place upon my shoulders a resplendent cloak. And I will look out across the masses. And with one gesture, we will all silently raise our fists to the air. And then we will give the final fuck as they all flip me off. And everybody will wander off because they got shit to do and not a single shit to give. And on that day, I will stand upon that mountain and I will say, ass at last, God Almighty, I'm an ass at last. Praise Keck, everyone. I don't know why. I'm channeling Keck. Keck is speaking through me. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Welcome to Brother Bob, the Church of 1,001 Miracles, here to help you, friends and neighbors. Do you know what the root of all evil is, friends and neighbors? Friends and neighbors, it is greed. Greed is the root of all evil. So I will save your soul. Send all your evil, sinful money to me. Brother Bob, the Church of 1,001 Miracles, here to help you, friends. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Okay. Yeah, but at some point, because weird didn't provoke a reaction anymore, people who really wanted to be noticed started getting further and further out. Suddenly, I'm 10 different genders. I'm a dragon kid. I identify as a turnip. Which I actually saw. It was disturbing. It was this guy walking around in a giant turnip costume. Frankly, I can't understand vegans at all. All that plant matter. Foliage is not food. It is what you feed to food. Can I get a repeating number, friends and neighbors? Can I get a repeating number? And I'm friends and neighbors, I want to tell you about Kek. I want to tell you about the Dark Lord Kek, Lord of Darkness, who's been ruling over us since the times of Egypt. He comes and goes as he wishes, but he has come here to choose you as his chosen people, of course. That's part of the choosing. But it's important to note here that Kek is a vengeful god, and in the end, he will kill us all. But that's okay, because we worship him. He promised to kill us last. He will destroy society by unleashing an endless torrent of memes. But that's only because we have reached the apex of order. It is time to tear down the structures. It is time to unleash things. And this year I predict, by the will of Kek, that there will be the great collapse of mainstream media by the end of 2017. It is the coming of the doom, the Kekpocalypse, for everything that is mainstream media. Hallelujah. And I want everybody out there to prepare for it. I suggest that if you have any money invested in anything media related, that you move it into canned goods and shotguns. Because trust me, the value of those products are going to go way up. Also, pro tip, toilet paper is going to be worth as much as its weight in gold. Oh. I swear, every vegan I've ever met, they're batshit crazy. And every time you try to talk to them and say, there are some proteins that plants don't make and your body can't make them. You can't. If you don't get these enzymes, you will probably suffer some sort of weird version of scurvy. No, all the proteins are... But the math is in. You don't make some very important proteins for, maintaining your brain. They get really thin, they look really healthy, but every vegan I know has this kind of jittery paranoia about them. I mean, I've seen the transformation process when I was a bill collector, when my coworkers went vegan, and she used to be pretty thick. She used to be pretty fun. Then she went vegan, and in about 6 months, she started becoming really unstable, yelling at people all the time, completely losing her shit. She used to be the calmest person on the phone. So calm. And then when she became a vegan, she started losing it all the time. She had no self-control. I mean, and I almost made this joke where I said, tuna fish. She goes, oh, how can you eat that? And I said, yeah, you're right. It just hasn't tasted the same since they started taking out all the dolphin. She literally slapped me across the face. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Of course, back then, when you're a bill collector, people shoot up the building every once in a while. So it's like, get slapped, whatever. Every once in a while, eat a slice of ham, deal with it. Maybe some bacon. Yeah, actually, I've been thinking about that, and I think I put it in a video about the reason why women are feminists, or women in Muslim countries. And it basically comes down to this weird belief that it's part of their hierarchy of suffering, of victimhood. And basically, Muslims are at the bottom of the hierarchy. Therefore, since, racism is institutionalized power, and rape isn't about sex, it's about power, then therefore rape is about institutionalized power, and Muslims have no power, therefore Muslims cannot rape. And white women, being the most privileged females, cannot be raped. They can be forced to have sex, but they can't be raped, because it's not really rape, it's just the reallocation of female privilege back to the appropriate owners of said privilege, which is the oppressed Muslims. If you believe in identity politics and victim status and all that other social justice bullshit, everything I just said is completely internally logical. And that's why they don't care. Because it is a nation full of oppressed people. And you say, who's oppressing them? We are over here in America. I had the strangest conversation a couple of months ago, I completely forgot about it, where my social justice warrior coworker, whose daughter is off in Africa saving bees, I believe, I shit you not, she tried to convince me that we should allow everybody in Africa to have American citizenship because we stole slaves. And I tried to convince her, I'm sorry, they sold us their own people. We did not go in there with armies. And by the way, all that slaves coming over crap happened before the current administration. Happened before 1787. But when you try to use logic like that, she's just like, oh, it was surreal. It was an absolute surreal conversation. Everybody in Africa needs to be given American citizenship because we oppress them. Yeah. Mushrooms are meat for vegetarians. I took a course in mushrooms. Mushrooms for millions in college. The Pleurotus mushroom, good old standard white mushroom, shiitake mushrooms. I know more about mushrooms and their spore cycle than any man should possibly know, and they are horrific. Mushrooms are evil. They're plants without souls. That's what a mushroom is. A mushroom is a plant that has no soul. They are the gingers of the plant world. Mushrooms are ginger plants. Okay, gingers have no souls, mushrooms have no souls. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, I know a lot of people love it, but after I saw the life cycle and how they make it, I can't touch them. I can't touch mushrooms. I can't. Oh my God, I'm triggered by facts, memories of me saying that. Oh, yes. By the way, that's my all-time favorite drug. My all-time favorite drug is to take what other people have said in the past and bring it to the present and say, do you see how you are inconsistent? Not even make any accusations, just say, what you said here in 2013 does not match what you are saying today. Do you see the difference? Oh, so salty. The tears of my enemy, they sustain me. What did you just talk to? You walked into somebody who hasn't been sleeping in we're going on 32 hours now. Hasn't slept in 32 hours. And I'm just babbling about all sorts of weird crap. You can ignore the first 7 minutes. I was having problems with the audio. At any rate, yeah, so that's my big prediction, by the way, since I got off tangent. The mainstream media will have their great collapse. The evidence, unfortunately, is going to happen all at once. There's not going to be any lead up. They're just going to keep doubling down on the crazy. They're just going to keep, everything fine. When you start seeing surveys that come out and say how great media is and how things are getting better, when you start seeing like experts on the media saying, media's had tough times, but things are turning around now. Things will be better very shortly. That's when you just go out and say, okay, I'm going to place an order for a big bowl of popcorn, 55-gallon drum, because this is going to be one hell of a show. And then probably on a Friday, late at night, CNN, MSNBC, one of the big media giants, is going to do a bankruptcy. And they're going to do it as late on Friday as possible so that they kind of hope to slide under the weekend radar. And it's going to expose how weak they are. Because I've seen their financial records. I don't even know how they're still open. That other than getting money from like drug cartels in Mexico and Saudi Arabia princes, I don't know how these things are staying open. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, drug cartels, Saudi Arabia princes, they've got plenty of money. Why would they stop paying for all this crap? That that actually did occur to me as a question. But I remember back in 2008, they were closing things down when I was working for AGS Lending. And they got rid of my entire office. It just vaporized. But there were only the two of us. They pulled aside because we were such high earners. And they said, we want to bring you onto some special projects, but you got to move. You got to come to this other location. And I'm like, I'm not moving. I think this is a really bad sign. I just thought it was only going to be AGS Lending going down the tube. But my friend, Kevin, who is a Indian, adopted as a baby, raised in Ireland, and then came to America. So it's the most amazing accent ever for an Indian guy who looks like he should be serving you curry. He went off and he did the job, and we stayed in connection. And he's like, my God, I don't know what I'm doing here. We're not really opening new accounts. We're doing a lot of paperwork and backlogging stuff. And in retrospect, now that I've been thinking about it, they were trying to finish squeezing every last drop of money out of AG's Lending before the guys in charge who knew everything was going down were going to stuff money into their suitcases and head for a country with very poor extradition laws. Which is what happened. And then the big collapse happened. So I'm thinking what's happening right now, because you see the media propping up the Democratic Party and Black Lives Matter, and the evidence is in. They're all crooks. They're all crazy. They're all insane. Why is the media propping them up? Well, they're propping them up because they're being told to. Who's telling them to do it? Man, these rich people who are paying the bills. Why are the rich people doing that? Because there's a profit in it somewhere. Somewhere there's a profit in it. I don't know if it's stock manipulation. I don't know if they're, maybe their big hope was to start a war. I don't think they're still trying for whatever their big plan is. I think that the big money behind this, there isn't a big conspiracy. There's just a couple of greedy people. They don't want to rule the world. They just want to make more money. And somehow this all fed into their plans. And right now, I don't think they're going to throw good money after bad. I think they're just going to say, okay, well, we're going to cut our losses. We're going to make sure we get everything here. We need to maintain this smoke screen for a while. And, okay, I've got all my assets. I've got everything wrapped up. I've everything, okay, I've got my Justice Democrats in place in case I want to try and activate them in a few years. Okay, good. Pull the money. And it's going to be sudden. It's going to be totally unexpected. And the company that just lost their big donors is going to flail about for a bit, try to say everything's fine, and then suddenly one day you're going to see the bankruptcy. And it's going to cascade. Just like it did with Goldman Sachs. There's going to be one after another, because suddenly the other media companies are going to say, wow, if CNN went down or whoever, we're next. And there's going to be a panic. And nothing accelerates something falling apart like a panic. And it probably in less than a week, all this bad financials will all boil to the surface. And that's it. They're going to fall apart. They're going to restructure. You're going to see a whole bunch of new, smaller places. But it's going to be a year or two before they get any sort of semblance of cohesion anymore. And by the way, if Trump actually goes through with his promise to cut the funding to, PBS and, NPR, oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I hate the fact that I have to pay for people to lie to me. I've thought about that too, whether or not, I don't think it's going to fail per se. I don't think the media is going to disappear. I think that there's these big companies that think they're too big to fail, who Trump is totally going to let fail. And I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. I think that, honestly, if we made a big mistake in 2008, we should have just let the bottom drop out. We should have just pulled, let it fall, let it hit as hard as it can, get to the bottom as quickly as possible, and then we can start to rebuild. You're going to see these media companies go bankrupt. But what happens in bankruptcy? The parts get sold off. Okay, you're going to see media mogul giants break up into a million smaller pieces. And then they're going to compete with each other. Because the biggest threat to capitalism is not communism. It's not fascism. It's monopolies. Capitalism requires competition. No competition, capitalism fails. Like any system, it breaks down in the margins. If you have too small of a group, it doesn't work. If you have capitalism's great in large areas, but if you've got one guy who owns everything, the market doesn't exist. So steal from the rich and steal from the super rich and give to the not quite so rich. It'd be better to have 8 CNNs than it would be to have one giant CNN. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to kind of shatter into a couple of pieces, and then they're going to compete, and then the losers are going to fade away completely, and we're going to be left with leaner, meaner, honest media places. And we've already got some coming out now. I mean, if you check some of the behind-the-scenes people, there's more than enough behind-the-scenes talent in the major medias that are kind of going off and starting their own thing because they can see the writing on the wall. It's inevitable. And people are still going to read it, but, you're going to have somebody who's going to pay for the name of CNN. But the company itself is going to be completely different. Branding is important, but that said, when's it going to happen? I don't know. Like, I didn't think it was going to, I thought I had at least another 6 months before the collapse. It took me completely off guard. I saw it coming, but I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. It could happen tomorrow. Could be, 6 months. I'm leaning more towards 6 months. I think the collapse is going to happen sometime during the summer because summer is traditionally a very, very, very slow time for news. Just when you look at the statistics, the summertime is when news drops off. You start getting a lot of reruns, and the kids are at home. It just media, there's just not as much news and not as much interest. So that would be the time that you would have the highest amount of pressure. If there's going to be a break, if it's going to snap, if you're going to get that sudden change, I'm thinking that probably August, by then. And Trump's not helping. Trump is trolling these guys. It's hysterical. He's playing rope-a-dope. He's standing up there, he's got his guard up, and he's like going, your mother sucks. And then he holds up, and then the media goes into a frenzy and punches him, and he just kind of blocks everything. And then he goes, your mother swims after trope ships. And then they pummel him some more. And all they realize is, they don't even realize he's just dragging them down to his level. And since everybody already thinks he's literally Hitler, how are you going to put him down any further? You've already declared him the ultimate evil on the planet. Okay? How do you lower the man? You can't. At this point, you become the monster. There's no way around it. And he's just going to keep doing that. And they're not going to learn. They're not. I love it also when he does this trolling thing where he gives a wrong statistic and then the media corrects it on him, but in doing so they report the statistic he wanted them to report. It's astounding. See, far too many times when I'm rambling on to Trump since I have no sleep, far too many times I thought, oh my God, this is it. Oh my God, what are you doing? You're such an idiot. But every time he won. And the few times he didn't, I think he just kind of said, oh, well, I calculated that wrong. Shrug, I will learn and do better in the future. And then he moves on. It's quite brilliant. I'm not saying he's like full-blown four-dimensional chess, but he's more of a Xantos Gambit person. No matter what you do, he wins. If you defeat him, he still wins. If he wins, he wins. And he's got contingencies where if you win, you lose. And it's really quite brilliant and Machiavellian. It scares the crap out of me as well. And as I said before, if it wasn't for the fact that I truly believe he wants to be known for the rest of history as the greatest president ever, but he'll settle on the third spot after, George Washington and Abe Lincoln. I think that's the only limiting factor. Because it's the only thing he can't have. It's the only thing he can't have. He could have whatever he wants. As he said in his own campaign, if I lose, I'll go home to my amazing life with my billions of dollars. And I will be happy. Although, did anyone see the video with Hillary Clinton? Oh my God. It was bizarre. She's at, I don't know, some fundraiser. But she's not really there. She just recorded a video to be played at the fundraiser. And I'm looking at her and I'm going, there's something wrong here. And the way she's moving and the way she's sitting, it literally looks like somebody has propped her up. Like, she has this look that I've seen before, because I've dealt with the mentally and physically disabled. I've dealt with people paralyzed from the neck down. And she had this weird move and this kind of odd jiggle in her neck. And the way it looked like her head was actually just placed on this plastic torso with a burlap sack put over it. It was bizarre. Her body language was so weird. I don't even remember what she was talking about. It was some sort of bullshit about, women are the future. The future is feminism or something like that. But she looked, I'm like, I really am wondering if she is truly sick. I am wondering if that bullshit about, her health is failing. I'm not thinking that is. I thought that was exaggeration for comedic effect. I'm not now. That video scared the crap out of me. I'm like looking at everybody. That's how I would prop somebody up who was paralyzed to watch the TV. Crap. What is your health like, miss? Not that I have a lot of sympathy for her. I truly believe that woman would have plunged us into World War III if she had a choice. I don't know why she had a hard-on for the Russians. Not that I have any great love for the Russians. I mean, half Polish here. What the Nazis didn't finish off, they did a pretty good job. But that said, we have royally screwed them. We've got them in a corner. Donald Trump is right about saying, we're going to back off a little bit here because we don't want you so desperate that you feel you need to press the button and fire the nukes. But that's really what Hillary was doing. She was trying to back him into a corner so bad that there was they had no options. I mean, there is verified evidence that they were spending their budget on building bomb shelters. That's crazy. But, after all, Obama said he was going to remove the nukes from the world. He's going to make a nuclear-free world, and then spent $3 trillion upgrading, improving our nuclear arsenal, and placing 100 nukes in Turkey well within the minimum distance that all nukes must be from Moscow, as per the 1987 treaty that ended the Cold War. Try and point out that Obama broke the treaty that stopped the Cold War. People don't listen to that, but it's true. And as another side note, since it has come up, why am I for the ban from those countries? Well, it's because Iran, don't trust them. Really don't. And two, the other 6 countries, we dropped 26,000 bombs in them last year alone. That's a lot of bombs. Now, if somebody was dropping, let's say 1,000 bombs in America, would you consider yourself at war with that country? I would. If somebody dropped 1,000 bombs in America, whoever dropped those bombs would be my enemy. Now, do you think that enemy would be wise to allow me to go to your country? Personally, I think the whole 90-day hold, there's nothing to be worried about. Yes, there is. And the 90-day hold is so that word can get around in these countries that don't even have freaking radios that there's a new president in charge and we're not going to murder all of you. Okay? So we just want to give it 90 days for you guys to realize we're not going to kill you. We're going to stop killing you. We're going to take our troops home, and you guys can go kill each other. We're not going to drop any more bombs on you. We're done with that. And the 90-day cooldown. Then after that, we'll start talking. I think that was a viable plan in my consideration, because even though we haven't declared war on these countries, we've dropped a lot of bombs. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who got to sit there and watch a relative blow up. And hate's a powerful thing. You know, it drove me for decades. I wreaked revenge down on people who wronged me back when I was a kid. You know, I never let anything go until the memory loss kicked in. So. Yes, I am obviously a racist, misogynistic Islamophobe, because I won't let hundreds of thousands of people stroll into my country after blowing up their loved ones. Weekend at Hillary's. Actually, I'm seriously, I mean, it was starting to look like, yeah, we got a paralyzed old broad here. Let's holler around the house. Shaking her head, putting sunglasses on her. Hey, Hillary, how's it going? Hey, your water skiing pretty good. And she's like being dragged behind a speedboat. Oh, excuse me. Well there. Okay, we're getting close. I'm not going to count the first 7 minutes of this because the volume is screwed up. So if anybody has any topics they want to bring up in the next 5-10 minutes, we'll discuss that. Otherwise, we'll wrap things up here. I don't think going much over an hour is a good idea. I might download this, edit out the wasted time, and then put it back in. But anything on anybody's mind that they think needs to be, considered that happened in the past week. Operation Northwards. That one's new to me, actually. I haven't heard about that one. Let's see what Google has to say. Operation Northwards was a proposed false flag operation. Oh yeah, we did all sorts of stupid stuff to Cuba. I mean, Fidel Castro was a monster, but God, what did we do? We mined conch shells on his beach. We had in development the explosive cigar, like the Karl Marx explosive cigar, except we wanted to blow up hard enough to blow up his head. They wanted to put some sort of weird chemical in his drink so that his beard fell out when he went and did an interview. But apparently he didn't drink the complimentary drink. This is all documented stuff, by the way, that the CIA did. They were freaking crazy. They were mad scientists. They were like Inspector Gadget with guns and no morals. Oh no, I read up a lot about that conspiracy stuff. So, I mean, trying to kill Castro, we did such a lousy job. We hired assassins and sent them down there. Nobody could get the man. So in that regards, I gotta give Fidel props. The man was a human cockroach. You could not kill this guy. Okay, we got his wife. We got his kids. I think we got an uncle, and then we got somebody who just happened to be decided to sit in the wrong seat. But the man was bulletproof. Ooh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call this off. I am at work and I do need to take care of this. So, been nice talking to everybody. I've got to hit the road. Alright, I've got to get to work. If this is popping back on long enough to get caught on there and so you guys can hear it, or if it's making a new video, I don't know. But just to let you know, I've got to go do some work now. It's been fun. If you guys think that Friday night's pretty cool, and that works for you guys, put it in the comments. I might try this again tomorrow night around the same time just to like feel it out and see how it works. Otherwise, Moonfloth Neverborn, The Abyss That Slumbers, and you have been listening to the incredibly sleepy Eldritch God.